I am not going to spend money for 6 months. Well, that's kind of the plan anyway. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and we are all about pantry preparedness. And today, I'm going to show you one of the ways that I am stocking up for winter, and my overall goal is to not spend money for 6 months on pantry-related items. I think I can do it, but this is one of the ways that I'm trying to make sure that it happens. We live in the country. We have a well and we have septic. So those are two factors that I have to take into consideration. The weather forecasts, no matter where they're coming from, are all pretty much saying the same thing. Buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to be a rough winter. I want to make sure that we are set for 6 months so that during the winter, I don't have to go and haul in groceries or dog food or other things. Let me show you what I did. Now, the caveat to this is that I have a working pantry that is pretty big, and it has been amassed over quite a few years. It's taken me to build up to this point, so don't think that if you're just starting out, you can do this automatically, unless you're independently wealthy, and then it's kind of not a problem, right? But for the rest of us, for us working folk, okay, we need to budget this out, and we have a grocery budget that we work with. One of the things that I have to factor into that grocery budget is water softener salt. Now, we go through about a bag a month, I think is what it's come out to. So I picked up 20 bags of water softener salt. Why? Because I love spending money. No, that's not the reason why. The reason why is because it's necessary. We have very hard water where we are. It's very iron rich. Literally, if you put water into a bucket, you can watch the iron float down to the bottom. It's orange, right? So to bring it into the house, it has to be softened so that we don't have all of that fun stuff going on. We have two different kinds of salt here because when I went to one store, now remember, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so when I went one direction, they had the kind that we normally use, and it has a green, it's too heavy to lift. Anyway, it has a green label, and that is to help alleviate the iron issue. This kind, with the blue kind, is the kind that's just basic water softener salt, and it's also more granular than the one for the iron. But they didn't have, so they only had so many at the first store that I went to, so I got 10. Okay, great. And then like a week later, I went to another direction, and they didn't have any of the kind that I use. And so we ended up going with the blue label here, which was quite a bit cheaper. Yeah, I know. It's always a lot of fun to figure out pricing. What gets me is that just a couple of years ago, the water softener salt for the green label was like $9. You know, painful, not too painful, but now it's up to $14 a bag in some places. Like, okay, I didn't realize salt got hit by the inflation too. Yeah, it did. So if you use a water softener, check out your prices, check around on your prices. I could have gone down to Sam's Club and gotten it a little bit cheaper, but literally it couldn't be justified with the cost of gas for 4 hours round trip and, you know, going to get it, that time taken away. My time is worth a lot of money, so I just went local and paid the slightly higher price. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate. We're going to mix the blue one with the green one, and that should still, well, it's an experiment. We'll see how it does. If everything turns orange, you know, it turns orange. You can call me an Oompa Loompa. The other factor in our house is our furry babies. Yes, our dogs and the one cat. So we have two 75-pound dogs who are a bundle of fun and a serious drain on the budget. But dog food is one of those things. This is the kind of dog food that our vet approves of. It's the kind of dog food that we can get locally, and it doesn't totally break the budget. So this is the kind right here that we normally get, okay? It's for adult dogs. Okay, great. The kind with the green is for older dogs, which now they're, 6.5 years old. So I'm like, okay, we're going to kind of mix this up, give them a little variety without totally whacking out their system. So, and the reason that I came to this conclusion is because we went to where we normally get the bags and found out that they only had 2 bags of each kind in their entire stock. What? Okay. So I got those 2 bags, and then I'm like, I have to go in the complete opposite direction. So while I'm there, I'm going to stop in at Tractor Supply. Stopped in at Tractor Supply. They had 2 bags of each kind. What? Apparently that ready to serve system or whatever it's called, doesn't just work with medicine and food. It's also with pet supplies. So they only keep a couple of bags of food in stock and then they reorder it when it sells. Okay, but I got 6 bags of food in the meantime, so we are all good for 6 months. You don't want to go over 6 months when stocking dog food because there's a natural oil in it and it will go rancid. If they do eat it, which is highly unlikely once it's rancid, if they do eat it, it could give them significant, tummy issues. You don't want that. We all have enough issues, don't we? These 2 things here set me back a pretty penny. That was possible because we are eating 100% out of our pantry. The only thing that I do go get, okay, so 99% out of our pantry. The only thing that I do go get is milk. Milk, coffee creamer, and occasionally a bread if I don't have time to bake bread. So our pantry is supplying us with everything else that we need. That's the goal of a pantry, is because now I can take that money that was in my budget for food and put it towards other things. It's not something that you can do overnight. It is not. However, you can work towards that goal. This has taken me years to get to this point. You can get to that goal to where that makes it possible. Every little bit that you can save by buying more on sale, stocking it up, and then you don't have to buy it again for 6 months, gives you that extra cushion in your budget to do the same thing again with a different item, with a different item, with a different item. These 2 things never go on sale because they're necessary. So why should they put them on sale? You don't have to tempt them to purchase them, right? In addition to all of that fun stuff, I needed some place to put this. So my shelving, you can kind of see, we use muscle racks. That's what we use in the pantry, and that's what we now use in the breezeway to stock up these bulk items, and in the garage. There's some in the garage too. But that's what we use because they're good, sturdy shelves. I've never had an issue with them. Years ago, when I started purchasing them, they were like $60 for this size shelf, which was 72 by 48. They were $60. I had Sam's Club deliver them. I'm like, yeah, okay. And we used 3 units to create 2 to make the shelves sit close, add more shelves so that there was no wasted space as far as the canning jars went. So that worked out really well. But I went to get new shelves, which I haven't purchased in a little while. I went to get new shelves and Home Depot had them, and I looked and what? Huh? They have tripled in price. The same shelving unit is now $179. So thank goodness I'm not trying to put more canning jars up, right? These are one shelving unit for $179. That was painful. These things are going to outlive me, literally. The odd part is dog food is 40 to 42 pounds a bag. The canning salt is 40 pounds a bag. I can stack the dog food. The canning salt buckles the shelf. I swear the canning salt is heavier just when you lift it. It's some kind of scientific reason behind it. I don't know what it is. It's just not right. So I have on the bottom shelf, I have water bottles stacked. I have our dog food stacked. I have our lemonade. It's a sugar-free lemonade. We're kind of addicted to it. We don't drink soda anymore, So, that's there. And then I put the canners all the way up there. Whoop, there's another shelf. Canners are up there. That's the canners. So they're a good shelf. They're a really good shelf, and they're sturdy. Each shelf is supposed to hold 800 pounds. I'll put a link down below. I don't get anything for it. I'm just showing you what the shelf is. Maybe you can price it someplace closer to you that's a little bit cheaper, but that's as good as it gets close to us. So, yeah. But now we have shelving units all the way around in the breezeway, and everything is up off the floor, and it's a beautiful thing. Stocking up for winter is a priority for me because this is supposed to be a nasty winter. It's not supposed to be good. And we want to make sure that we have what we need here so that we don't have to go out to get it. My goal is from November on for 6 months to not have to go out and spend any money. I'm not saying I'm not going to. I don't have to. That right there is the kicker. If Thanksgiving comes around and turkeys go on sale, you know I'm going to get a couple turkeys. Christmas comes around, I'm going to get a couple hams on sale because, they're on sale and I can. But other than that, we don't need anything. And so I am going to be actively working towards not purchasing anything so that I can put that money in savings and pay down some bills, because medical bills are no joke. So this made it possible for me to focus on that. Take some time, consider the oddball things that you don't use every single day, but you do need to get through an extended period, and see what you can do to stock up a month or 2 months worth at a time. If you're in a position where you can actually stock up 6 months and you have space for it, go for it. I know that not everybody has space for it. I know that not everybody has money for it. Do what you can with what you've got. Do not compare yourself to what I do or anybody else does. I don't compare myself to what anybody else does with their pantry, because that's not my life and that's not my situation. You need to do what works best for you in order to stock up. Am I hoarding? No. There is no such thing as hoarding and preparedness. If you are not going to use it and you buy it and stack it up, that, my friends, is hoarding. Otherwise, it's called being prepared. And I prefer to be prepared, because you never know what life is going to toss at you. If you want to check out more about what I stocked up for the winter, check out this playlist here. And until next time, everybody, be safe.